G'day, it's Mel Lathuris with episode 24 of the Fearless Singer podcast. It's been a little while in between episodes and for good reason. And today I'm just going to give you an update as well as some powerful teachings that have literally unblocked me creatively, and I want to share that with you. So the last couple of weeks I've been upgrading the fearlesssinger.com website. That's been pretty much my core focus for the last, actually it's probably been longer than 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And now what's actually really exciting is that I've got everything in one place. So before I had, Fearless Singer and the courses on one platform, and then I had everything about my music on a completely different one. And for the first time, I've brought this all together because I was like, hang on, I am Fearless Singer. And I shouldn't be separating the music from the coaching and the community. It should all be in one spot. And I know should is a funny word, but it just felt like it's more powerful that way, because finally I'm actually accepting something that I teach all the time, that everything that we do as creatives, so whether we're performing, whether we're, making things, we're still teaching, we're still of service. And I'm talking about the people, and I know that because you're watching this, you're one of these people that have a heart for service. It doesn't matter that you're not standing up on stage with a whiteboard, teaching concepts. You're still teaching. You're offering an incredible service just by showing up, despite whatever fears that you are or have experienced or are experiencing, whatever life has thrown at you that week, that day, that hour, that minute. You're standing there and you're being yourself. That is an incredible service. And what you teach is so much. You're teaching authenticity. You're showing people what it is to be creative, to play, to be one with joy. I remember being in an audience of the Grates. Remember the Grates and Patience, incredible singer performer. I was standing there feeling really out of place, and I was by myself, and I had my arms like this, and Patience threw a golden coin, those chocolate coins, into the audience, and it literally fell into my folded arms. And immediately I was just like, oh my God, well, for one, you have to, make this motion. It was a moment of expansion for me. I was like, oh my God, there is someone being themselves on stage in front of all these people, and they're not afraid to be themselves. And I was a 20-something-year-old. And as you know, as 20-something-year-olds, we're still really figuring out our identity, who we are. That was so powerful. It was like watching someone do that, and then it was double consolidated with this symbolic gesture of this golden coin falling in my crossed arms, which literally physically helped me unravel and expand. And honestly, the amount of energy that I went home with, it was like I was floating on air the whole time. That is what we give people when we perform. So yeah, no more separating the two. Music is just as powerful of a service as education. And yeah, they all go hand in hand. And there's another powerful gesture in not compartmentalizing what we do as artists, because we're so multi-passionate. And it's great to then bring it all together and put it in one spot. And just from an energetic point of view too, it means that you're not whittling away energy. You're able to focus on one thing and put all your love and positive focus into it. Of course, it's going to grow from there. So that was one big powerful lesson. And that's why you haven't really seen me or heard from me, because that's what I've been doing. And the other thing too is I have been revisiting the work of Carolyn Elliot. She's the author of Existential Kink. And it was because I was starting to, I don't know, things were coming up and I was experiencing a lot of shame over, different things. Why haven't I got to this point yet? I was very much encaged by this idea of metrics. Like, why haven't I done this? And there was a lot of shame that was coming up around that. And it was lovely that my higher self led me back to Carolyn Elliot, because not only is she an incredible teacher, she has got the most beautiful voice. Honestly, like, listening to her speak is like listening to liquid silk being poured into your ears. It's divine. So she's definitely like my go-to comfort person when you want to just like listen to someone who just immediately regulates your system. Please do that. It's like her or Enya, like they're both the same. It's interesting, isn't it? Like, you can be guided to listen to music, or you can be guided to listen to somebody teach. Same thing. So yeah, Carolyn Elliot, Existential Kink. The work is based on, the esoteric, the realms of magic. And to be really honest, I don't think I could access that information any other way apart from through her, because she has a way of being able to take these, concepts, and also not like they're pretty out there, but also on an academic point of view, they're pretty big concepts, heavy concepts, but she's been able to put it in terms that, well, I can understand using everyday lexicon. And I guess the premise of the work is that those things that we tend to push aside as, like, oh, naughty bad girl, or, oh, that's dirty, or that's not good enough, or those behaviors or memories that we repress because it's shameful. The whole idea of that work is that we unsurface those. We bring them back into our being, and we love that part of ourselves even more. So when victim arises from time to time, instead of going, oh, I feel like such a bloody idiot, here I am again, sulking over this again. So rather than, really turning on that shame button, and going down that spiral, it's about going, oh, thinking of it as a young kid saying, oh, I've been bullied again at school. We don't say, oh, go shut up, gosh, you whinging again. No, you don't. You say, hey, come on, tell me about it. Tell me, how does that feel? What's been happening? Talk about it. Oh, gosh, I love you, and this is the work. It's taking those things that we think we should know better, and going, no, I love you right now, and I'm listening to you. And the same thing, I'm just going to be really honest. I have a very short temper, especially when it comes to technology. And, when I get hit with that kind of like, work for me, I pay a lot of money for you to work, that kind of thing. Now I get off on it. Like, I'm like, woo, yeah, angry. She's angry. And I don't know why I use that voice, but it came out. But yeah, I'm just like, yeah, love you. Yeah, anger. Whew. And it's amazing, because what it actually does is it just transforms it. It transmutes it into pure joy. It becomes pleasure. And then what happens when we start actually rewiring those things that we think are nasty about ourselves, when we start actually experiencing pleasure, we're expanding our range of pleasure. So therefore, we can stay in this more expansive, joyful state, which is, by the way, our natural way of being. That's how we came out into this earth. We knew very much that connection. We had that connection with joy. And it's interesting from a creativity point of view. you know, how people go, I'm not really creative. Oh, you know, oh, you're really arty. It's like, you know, if we could travel back in time and watch that person that said that they're not creative in preschool, like when they were just colouring outside the lines, playing make-believe, of course they were creative. We're born to be creative. We're born to be creators. We're born to be in that state of joy, that state of flow. And it's actually just really ego that knocks us out of that. Our ego, which really is from our amygdala, you know, so it's really, that's, you know, where these beliefs, egoic beliefs, come into play that keep us away from that expansive state, is just a way of, it's surviving. It's our survival brain. It's to keep us out of harm's way, to keep us back into automation, and anything that feels unfamiliar is like our body can perceive it as a threat. So now it's about reframing that and going, no, it's not a threat. And in fact, I'm going to really take pleasure in this. And now we're going to start rewiring. Our subconscious mind is going to now start perceiving that as something completely different, and which will allow us to stay in this state of joy. And remembering too that stress, we kind of crave that hormone. So we kind of do seek out these kind of sort of more painful moments because we do like that feeling of that cortisol injection. This is the other thing. So just be mindful of that we do kind of seek it out because we like that little bit of rush of cortisol. But we know that that's not the most expansive, conducive state to be in when we want to create. But that's okay because we can then go, get that little hit of the cortisol, but then rewire it. And then what's actually going to start happening is we're going to see more and more evidence of this, I guess, what happens when we're in creator mode. We're starting to see evidence in our 3D reality of all this amazing stuff that we're creating. And also we're starting to see what's happening as a result of making all these, you know, choices of rewiring these moments to be more pleasurable for us. We're starting to see the fruit of that. Then, oh my God, our body just gets hit with dopamine, but like the long lasting type of dopamine. The dopamine you get from, I can really trust myself to be an intentional creator of my experience. And I tell you what, so this is what I've been listening to over the last couple of weeks, and it's just really starting to change the way I show up here. Well, for one, I don't know if you know, I've just done 10 days of trainings. I went live, and I called it the Fearless Singer daily sessions, and I'll restart them again. I just gave myself a bit of a timeline, just, you know, to see if I could just show up and, you know, teach for 10 days in a row, which I did, give or take a couple of days where I did a little reschedule. But I still showed up and I taught stuff from vocal technique to mindset to business. And normally I wouldn't be able to do that, to be honest. Like, that felt actually like a real push for me to do that. Because, you know, one, you're going live. Two, I also gave myself the brief not to have anything, you know, 100% planned. Just, you know your stuff, just talk about it. So yeah, showing up and just delivering and being myself. So that was really a big result of this work, and going, you know what, I probably am going to say some stupid things because that just sometimes comes out of my mouth, but Jesus, I love myself for that. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. And I have also been singing way more. And you'd think, hang on, you tell us all to sing and to create. Yeah, well, sometimes, you know, in the past I didn't follow my own, you know, downloaded advice for you. But now I am. And holy moly, I just This is the face of someone who has been writing quirky songs for the last couple of days and covering songs that I've kind of thought were a bit daggy in the past, but I've always really loved them. So I started working on the cover of, Yaz, The Only Way Is Up. The only way is up, baby. Because, it's one of those songs I put on to really get high vibe. And I wrote a song called Queen Pin Manifesto. I wrote a blues this morning, a blues head. It occurred to me that, because I've always said for years, I need to learn more blues heads, because pretty much all I know is Blue Monk and Sunny Moon for Two, And I'm like, I need to learn more blues heads. Why am I not doing that? And I'm like, because, mate, you should be bloody writing those blues heads and write, with like how you teach. So I wrote this high vibe kitchen blues this morning, and it's just, look, and and it's also too, I'm at this point where I don't give two shits if it's good or not. I really don't care because I love it, and it's also made me feel really happy just doing it. I've been in joy. I've felt like how I was as a little girl with my piano on our internal veranda that felt like it was literally everything was just going to break because white ants was eating our house, and it felt like every time I stamped my little foot I was going to fall through the floor. But I had this old piano that my beautiful mother scored for me. It was out of tune, and I'd write songs all the time, and it made me feel so alive and so whole and just wonderful. So I feel like I'm back there because I've just gone, I don't care if I never perform these, if I never record these. I don't care if I put these up on social media and people go, or I put a song up on social media, I think it was like quite a few months ago now, of me singing, and some dude said that they'd rather kill themselves than listen to me sing. And honestly, there's no emotional charge. I was like, oh shit, mate, is this a cry for help? Like, I'm sorry, this kind of thing. But I honestly don't care if I'm not liked, or if no one likes what I do, or they think, oh gosh, she's got tickets on herself. Because you know what? That's what keeps us stuck. This feeling of like, we need to be liked, we need to belong. It's like, no, we are born to stand out. Dr. Seuss said that. We were born to stand out. We're not born to fit in. And, we're born to stand out and be doing things that bring us joy and making things that bring other people joy, so we can all be collectively high-fiving each other. When one of us rise, we all rise. So what you do is powerful. You opening your mouth to sing, to speak, whatever it is that you do. If you play an instrument, what you do is powerful. You are teaching just by being and just by creating, because that's what we're born to do. We're born here. We've been put here to create. Anyway, so I'll leave you with that. That is episode 24. So it's called You're Born to Create. I'm going to entitle it that. And also too, if you would like some resources to connect yourself to your inner creativity, to your beautiful voice, doesn't matter whether you identify as a singer or not, go over to fearlesssingerkit.com. Please get the Fearless Singer Kit. It's got daily singing exercises, but no, even though they are really helpful for your voice, it's just a way that you can connect and literally show up for your voice. And while you're showing up for your voice, you're showing up for your creativity, your creative spirit. You're having a date with your higher self. And also too, with that, there's an EFT mini course, which is completely free as well. And that teaches you the framework of EFT and how you can use that to unblock any narratives or identify any narratives that are holding you back, and then turf them out. And then also there's an ebook on boundaries for singers, like literally done for you scripts. You can copy and paste these as emails and send it to people that you need to kind of, assert some boundaries with. So yeah, you can access that at thefearlesssingerkit.com. So check that out. And I promise I won't leave it too long in between podcast episodes because I freaking love this. And I love bringing people on as well. And I do have some incredible people planned for the show that will be on in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, stay tuned and lots of love.